Yo, so what up, YouTube? This is gonna be a tip video, educational video. I'm gonna run down my settings. I'm gonna run down how I approach the game. I'll run down what is my thought process, and hopefully you guys can take something from this. This might be a lengthy video, or it would be a lengthy video. If you enjoy the content, please leave a like. It'll help push out the video to those that might need the help, just like you do. Um, no, say that. Yo, so what up, YouTube? Real quick, I just want to say this video might be lengthy. Oh, oh my God. Yo, so what up, YouTube? I want to get straight into the video, but before that, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. That way we can make the channel grow and this video can get out there to more people that could need, that might need the help. Yo, so before we get into the video, I just want to quickly say this will be a settings video. Yo, what up, YouTube? Kingflowh here. I just want to quickly say I'm gonna run down my settings. I'm gonna go how I approach. Yo, I can't talk, bro. What up, YouTube? Yo, what up, YouTube? In this video, I will be running down my settings, how I approach the game, how do I maneuver on the game, and hopefully this video can help you guys improve your gameplay. Yo, what up, YouTube? Kingflowh here. So before the video starts, yo, what up, YouTube? Kingflowh here. So I don't want to take much of you guys' time. I just want to say that this video will run down. I will run down my settings. How do I maneuver? How do I approach the game? What do I think you guys should be doing in the game? What tips do I have for you guys? Um, yeah. So if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Those two things will definitely help push the channel out there, and it will be recommended to maybe more people that might need the help or that might find this video useful. So yeah, let's get right into it. Yo, what up, YouTube? Kingflowh here. So I don't want to take much of you guys' time. I just want to say that this video will run down. I will run down my settings. How do I maneuver? How do I approach the game? What do I think you guys should be doing in the game? What tips do I have for you guys? Um, yeah. So if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Those two things will definitely help push the channel out there, and it will be recommended to maybe more people that might need the help or that might find this video useful. So yeah, let's get right into it. Oh, it's good. We can do it again. Working for here. So what up, YouTube? It's your boy Kingflowh here. Quickly, before the video starts, I just want to say the video has started already. Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Kingflowh here. So quickly, before the good part of the video starts, I just want to say, yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Kingflowh here. So real quick, before the fun part starts, I just want to quickly say in this video, I will run. Bro, what the fuck? Maybe I should do this. Some bold, bro. I know. So a disclaimer: you don't have to copy everything I do. You just want to implement whatever you think will work for you, and don't be scared to try new things out because that's how sometimes you find a better way to play as opposed to just copying all my settings. But feel free to copy them if you think it's gonna help you, and hopefully it does work for you. Keyboard and mouse, I don't play keyboard and mouse. I play controller. We're not gonna get into that. Graphics, for the graphics, I just copied it from someone on YouTube. So you could definitely, I'll run to them, but I'm pretty new to computers, so I don't really have much in-depth information about how these work. So my display, you can just copy any settings you would like. So for display, you can just copy any setting that might be useful to you. If there's one that I think is important, I'll just run through it. For quality, field of view, I'll play on 100 just because I have a 24 inch. So if it's like too zoomed out, which is what it does when you go higher on the field of view, then it's very hard for me to see people from a distance. So I just play it on 100. I'm definitely planning on getting a new monitor, and once I do, then I'll definitely go higher. And these are computer settings, by the way. For advanced, you want to have it on affected as opposed to independent because if it's on independent, then it's not gonna feel like you do have a FOV slider up once you aim down sight. So you just want it on affected, and it kind of like just adapts to the whatever FOV you put. Camera movement, you want it on 50. You don't want your camera to be shaking all over the place as you're running through the map. Um, Everything else, I just pretty much copy it from other videos. Film grain, you want it on 0, just because you don't want your game to be running a higher CPU. Film grain, film grain, you want this on 0. The game will not look as crispy, but it definitely is gonna help with the smoothness of the game. These three definitely have it off. Definitely disable them. Depth of field, world motion blurred, weapon motion blurred. So depth of field means pretty much when you aim down sight, as you see in the picture, it's gonna look blurry if you have it on enabled. And we don't want no type of blurriness. We want to see people as much as we can. World motion blurred is pretty much the same. When you tactical sprinting, it's gonna look very blurry, and you might not notice a difference playing multiplayer, but playing Warzone, the maps are pretty big, so it definitely makes a difference. A lot of people didn't know this. I didn't know this when I started because I didn't have someone to run down settings for me, and it made such a big difference once I disable all three of these. So trust me, just disable it. Everything else is just computer settings. Not really familiar with them. Colorblind, I play on Delta Renopia. Supposedly it helps you see better. It probably does just a little bit. Colorblind target, I have it on both. Two tips disable. You can enable this if you would like. Mini map shape, square. Always have it on square. You will be able to see more of the map as opposed to a circle. As you can see here, um, the circle doesn't cover the same area that the square does. So rotation enable, show compass enable. What else is important? I like to have these on frame per second, server latency, pocket loss, just so I can see if I'm losing any frames, if I'm lagging, if I have a high latency. That way I'll approach the game different based on the connection I'm getting for that specific for that game. I don't know if console has these, but I know computer definitely does. So for audio, I'll play on boost low. I used to play on boost high. To be honest, this is just based on your headphones. So you want to try either one. I would recommend either one, boost high or boost low, and just see which one sounds better in terms of hearing footsteps, which is like what we're really focusing on. Master volume 100, music volume 0, dialogue 20. You don't want to turn this completely off because this is that voice that will tell you like if there's an enemy UAV coming, if there's a claymore that's been planted. So it definitely helps, but you don't want it to be so loud where it's distracting you or is preventing you from hearing other things in the game. Effect volume 100, cinematic volume 100, juggernaut music enable. Uh, Mono audio, it pretty much means if you enable this, if there's sounds going on the right side of your character, then you'll hear it on the right side of your headset. Same way, if there's sound going on the left side of your character, you hear it on the left side of your headset. Some people play with this on because it makes it easier for you to distinguish whether a sound is right or left. Me, I personally find it annoying, so I just don't have it on. Mono audio 100. These are more computer settings. Open mic threshold, it just means how loud do I have to be before my mic starts picking it up. So if there's like a lot of background noise in your house, then you probably want to have this, I believe is up because it has to reach a certain volume before your microphone starts picking it up. Voice shot volume 66. I never really have this on 100 because sometimes people sound too loud and I just rather hear footsteps and other things and the conversations I'm having with friends or teammates. Or track passenger enable. That's just the music that plays when you get in the passenger seat or the back seat of a car. Or track volume is 100. If you want to bring it down, you can bring it down. I like to vibe out, so I don't mind it. So for controller, this is one of the most important settings that we have. So I'll play on tactical flip. So meaning I crouch with R3. If you're crouching with circle still, I don't know what you're doing unless you play claw. I don't play claw, so I'll definitely play tactical. Now, another thing that a lot of players do is they'll come here and play bumper jumper flip or bumper jumper tactical flip. If you don't have a scuff controller or play claw, this is what I recommend 1000%. Why? It allows you to jump with this button. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, once you get used to it, it's gonna make a big difference. And I'm gonna show you later on how this is implemented and why it helps. So this is pretty much how I play bumper jumper. So you would normally jump with this, then aim with this, and shoot with this. You always want to shoot with the top buttons, not the triggers, because if you can see, it takes time to press down on the triggers. So that slight second might make the difference of you dying and you winning the gunfight, as opposed to these LB RB button, L1 R1, is kind of like just instant shooting. So I use bumper jumper, but it felt weird when I was trying it out, and I'm not a lefty, so it just felt weird holding these two fingers on the back of the controller. So what I did was I customized my controller to where I can jump with this one. Now there's not a setting for it. I don't know why. It only has a setting to jump with the left trigger. and there's not a setting to jump with the right trigger. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that idea and I just implemented my own idea. Therefore, I play like this. So I jump with this, and the logic is you want to be able to jump and climb things without moving your finger from the right stick. As opposed to if you just play on regular default or you don't have paddles in your bag, you have to technically jump and then come back to your stick. Now you just lost track of your aiming stick for about a split half a second. We don't want to waste no time in this game. The time to kill is too fast, and there's too many good players that don't waste any time doing these functions. Unless you play claw, like I said, because if you play claw, then you can just tap it and you're still moving around. But I don't like claw; it feels uncomfortable for me. But like I said, you just try whatever works for you. Definitely, anything you try, it probably takes a day for you to get used to it. So don't just play a couple games and be like, "Oh, this doesn't work," or don't just try it on practice and then be like, "Oh, it worked in practice in the game, you fucked up." So now you don't want to continue with the process. So no, definitely always trust the process. Trust that you will come out on the better side, and trust that it definitely is going to be beneficial in the long run. Um, so for dead zones, I don't really mess with these. If you have stick drift, they always say bring your dead zone down, yeah. But I don't like messing with these because your aim will start to change. So for example, if I bring the dead zone lower, it just means I'll have to push further before my character starts to move, and I don't want to have that delay. So, but if you have stick drift, do it. I'll just buy a new controller. That's what I normally do. And if it's just a little tiny stick drift, it doesn't really bother me. So sensitivity, I play 9-9. Sometimes I go 10-10, 11-11. Sometimes you get used to something, and it just feels redundant. So for something to be fresh in your mind, you have to keep switching things up. And sometimes changing your sensitivity can make a big difference because it feels like you're just trying something new again, and it just mentally helps you. You know, it's almost like you fooling your own mind. But yeah, definitely play 9-9. If you're a sniper, you don't want to be too low because once you scope in, unless you bring up your ADS sensitivity, but once you scope in with the sniper, then it's gonna move so slow that a lot of times you won't be able to keep up with players. So I'll play 9-9. If I play on Caldera, which is a bigger map, I'll probably go down to 8-8 or 7-7 because people might be at a lot of people's gonna be at a distance, and it's gonna be harder to hit shots if your sensitivity is too high. I mean, if you can control it, you can control it, but I just don't want to worry about controlling it too much. I just want, you know, the game to do most of the work for it. This is the ADS. ADS is pretty much aim down sight. That's what ADS stands for. So when you aim down sight, how fast do you want to move left and right? You know, if you go lower, it's gonna move slower. So I would recommend if you go on a higher sensitivity, you bring your ADS lower because you're gonna be spinning so fast. The only way you can control it when you aim is if it, has a little slowdown. You don't want that to be too fast either. And if you go lower sensitivity, then you might want to bring this up because now when you're aiming, it's gonna move, even slower. But also sensitivity is always relative to how you play. If you a person that can always keep your enemy in front of you and you have very good IQ and you know how to work around the map, then you can always have a low sensitivity, which definitely will improve your accuracy. But if you're a person like to move around, rotate, turn, spin 180, 360, then definitely go higher. Aim response curve, I have it on standard. Vibration, you definitely want to have disabled. You don't want your controller vibrating as you're fighting an opponent. Um, you can have it on for some dramatic effect, but I'd rather have it off. A lot of people play dynamic here just because. So dynamic will be like a mouse. So like, um, your stick will react right away as opposed to having a bit of a slowdown and then going fast. So it'll feel more like a mouse, where like a mouse, it don't matter where you move it, it just like instantly. Aim assist I have it on standard as well. Some people play position, I believe so, just because it's more magnetic. But I'm a person that like to move on a lot, so I don't want to be stuck to a target. All these are pretty much default. Contextual tap, you always want to play on contextual tap. You want to tap everything as you picking it up. You don't want to hold. So, but just keep in mind when you do go to contextual tap, then you're gonna have the tap to reload, as you can see it on the settings, on the right side of the settings. You're gonna have to tap to reload and tap to use, meaning anything you want to pick up, you just tap or you swap. Armor plate, apply all. So if you hold triangle, it's just gonna start putting on every plate. If you want to cancel the animation, then you just tap triangle again. Do not do what I do, which is I always make this mistake. If I want to cancel the armor plates, I double tap triangle. So what ends up happening is you come out to the other weapon. So if I have a submachine gun in front of me right now, and then I start applying play, and then I double tap triangle, I actually come out to the AR. It's not just gonna cancel the animation; it's gonna switch weapons, which makes me mess up a lot of times because a lot of times that second gun is a sniper, and I'm not ready to shoot the sniper at that time, or it could be a gun that I have to reload, and it just throws me off completely. So you definitely apply all. You tap it one time, all the play starts applying. Tap it again to cancel. Slide behavior, tap, 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 tap. Always want to have it on tap. You do not want to be holding to slide. And I'm going to show you later when I get into a game of why tap is definitely the way to go. As well as automatic tac sprint, it means if you press up, you're automatically tactical sprinting at all time. As long as you press up, you automatically tac sprint. So when you have tap behavior, you can slide cancel, which is one of the most important movements of the game. Slide cancel, you'll tap, tap, and then jump. This is why I rather jump with this button as opposed to tap, tap, X. See how now I can control my aiming stick? No, I play like this, so I just tap, tap, jump. Automatic sprint, tap, tap, jump. And then I'm going to show you later on in the game of how I apply it. Oh, and then the last one will be, I almost forgot about this one. Parachute auto deploy. I do not have this on auto because I want to be able to deploy my parachute at my own pace. Sometimes you get closer to the ground. Um, so parachute auto deploy, you always want to have this disabled unless you just scared to splat on the floor every time, but you should get used to it. Yeah, you might splat on the floor here and there, but when it's auto deploy, it pretty much deploys from a higher point as opposed to you want to deploy closer to the ground because you'll be arriving first than your opponent. You don't want to be deploying up here while other players are deploying down here and they're gonna get the gun before you. Now you're pretty much stuck in the air, easy kill. How long was that? You know what? Fuck it. Mic check. How it sounds compared to the game. How it sounds compared to the game. Mic check now. Mic check now. Mic check now. Mic check now. Actually, here. Mic check now. 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 This will be perfect. I'm getting in the plane. I'm getting in the plane. I'm getting in the plane. How loud is this? I'm getting in the plane. How loud is this? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. So now we are about to get into the fun part. Um, so I guess the first thing I'll show you is slide cancel. If you're not familiar with slide canceling, it pretty much means you slide, and then you cancel the slide. Slide, and then you cancel the slide. And the way you do that is you double tap the crouch button, and then you hit the jumping button. Which is why I was saying earlier, it's super important for you to have a button where you can jump, which is this will be my button, jump, as well as having your thumb on the stick at all times. So either you have paddles, you play claw, or you play bumper jumper. Which with bumper jumper, you'll be jumping with that button. But it's pretty much the same logic. So I want to run, tab, slide, tab, jump, tab, jump, tab, jump, which is why that setting earlier about tapping as opposed to holding to slide becomes very important. I know a lot of players know this, but there's also a lot of players that might not know this that are new to the newest Warzone. So it's tap, jump, tap, jump, tap, jump. And as you can see, I can just aim anywhere I want as I'm doing it. Why? Because my hand does not leave the aiming stick. We don't want our hand off the aiming stick ever. So that was slide. So you want to practice this. You want to run on the map. And this is also why tactical sprint is important, because you always going to go into a tactical sprint, slide cancel. Tactical sprint, slide cancel. So you're pretty much going to slice. You're going to tactical sprint throughout the entire map as opposed to coming here. And then we're going to get into this position where we just sprinting. And then you're going to see a lot of players do this. They just slide and then they get back up. And it just looks very, very off. You want to be able to move as fast as you can, because if someone is about to shoot you and you just all of a sudden just zoop, especially if they're on a low sensitivity, it's going to be very hard for them to keep up, especially if they're closer to the wall. Like if you just jump out of there full speed and you just boom, like you're ready to shoot, it's going to be so hard for them. So you want to tactical sprint, slide, tactical sprint, tap, jump, tap, jump. So you want to practice those movements. You just want to practice. And don't just do it in practice. Do it in a game where it feels normal. Do it in a fight. Remember, it's going to take about a day to get used to certain things. So you have to trust the process and trust that it's gonna work for you. Slide. You can slide cancel through anything inside. Boom. Boom. Just slide cancel past the door. You can open the door, hit the slide. You're just gonna make it. The objective of the game is you want to hit your opponent without being hit. So you just want to make it as hard as you can for them to hit you. So that's one of the tips I have. Another tip I want to give you is if once you get used to slide canceling, this is a little more advanced. You can slide cancel into cover. You can slide cancel in and out of cover, as opposed to coming here and then just standing up. I'm an easy target to hit, or coming here and then jumping and I'm an easy target to hit. You can slide here. You can slide here. As again, we can always aim down, so I can always be ready to shoot. If I were to jump with X and I don't play claw or a paddle, then I'm gonna have to slide cancel, jump, and then we're gonna have to turn. So I'm gonna be slide cancel, jump, and then turn. That half a second, split second, is gonna be the difference between you dying and you getting the kill. So slide cancel. Also, we always want to slide cancel behind cover. You never want to slide cancel. Oh, we also want to slide cancel behind cover at all time. So if there's cover here, I don't want to go here and then maybe crouch and do this. Always slide cancel behind cover. So boom, boom, boom. I'm getting shot at. You hit me. So watch how hard I'm gonna make it for him to hit me just because I'm slide canceling. Zigzagging, shifting left, right. This is actually a perfect example. I'm flashed. Still not even a person shooting me. That was actually awesome. Perfect example. Definitely when you're closer to an opponent, it's gonna be definitely gonna be easier to hit. But when you're further and you just slide canceling like I was just doing, it's gonna take them some time to land some shots. Right here, slide cancel in and out, tactical sprint, come out. And this is all possible because I'm able to tactical sprint. Now when you have dead silence, it's even harder for them to hit you because now I'm moving even faster. And I'm always coming out of tactical sprint. See how hard it is for him to hit me? And when you're ready to shoot, you could always tap him. I can hear more people. Tap him. Come here. Wow, this is actually perfect. Now you see how difficult it is for them to even try to hit me. Now obviously very good players have good accuracy, so they're gonna land some shots. But that you want to be better than those average players. That's when you hit that elite level. By the time you get to the elite level, then pretty much everyone is just as good. But that was actually a perfect example of how you can use movement to avoid getting hit. And sometimes when you're not ready to shoot, then you actually want to move first and then you find a way to shoot. If they catch you lacking, how we say in the hood, or they got the drop on you, pretty much means they catch you without you being ready to shoot. So if they got the drop on you, then you always want to probably hit them with a movement first and then be ready to shoot. You don't want to have someone there just aiming downside at you and then they hit you and then you want to turn and look. We want to go do a movement first and then we worry about shooting. Even if we're going to lose some health, we're hoping that, even if we're going to lose some health, we're hoping that the fact that we hit them with some movement, they're able to start missing shots. That was actually a perfect example. We loved it. So now that we're past the slide cancel, next thing I want to speak about is IQ. IQ has nothing to do with talent or how good you are at the game. It just has to do with being smarter. So if I'm coming up this street, where's my covers? You have to think about where's my covers. I would not go right because there's no, or assuming there's like people around here. Or let's say there's people there, like further, maybe that ping. Over there. Oh, what the fuck? So now that let the planes pass. So now that we're past slide canceling, we're gonna talk about IQ. Um, if you're coming up this road and you're approaching a fight, let's say there's people. Oh my god, these planes are so fucking loud. Let's say there's people at that orange ping. They're coming up here. You always want to look and find where's your covers. So I would not run this way because my only cover might be this little wooden box or plank thing. Um, always want to go towards your covers. So you always want to look at where's cover. The cover's here, here, and you never want to lose sight of the target. So if you can always find cover but while still keeping inside of, while still looking at them, get out of here. Well, you don't suck. You just have to come to YouTube, watch my tutorial video. Hopefully he comes back down here, and I'm gonna let him kill me so I can tell him when the death come. But you see how side cancel, boom, 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 boom. It's gonna be a lot of. It's gonna be difficult for players that don't play the game as often or are not as good to hit those shots. I'm just telling you, trust me. So mind you, I didn't have no cover, but you always want to go for cover. So cover, boom, boom, boom here. I can still see him. Cover, boom, boom here. Then you might want to peek this way. So that's one thing that's very important. Always look for your covers anywhere you're going, even if you're in the middle of the open. I'm looking at what's my biggest tree. Maybe that one right there. So if I do get hit from somewhere up front, I'm already running to this tree right here. Because why? It's the biggest one. I'm not looking at this one, which is thinner. I might still get hit from both of my shoulders. If you suck, watch my tutorial video. Oh, this is funny. Find a friendly. YouTube Kingflowh. Ah, that's funny. Let me back out of this game though. So now we can talk about aiming. Um, so when it comes to aiming, you just gotta be familiar with the weapons you use. And so let's talk about aiming. When it comes to aiming, you just gotta be familiar with the weapon you use and recognize the recoil. Like this OTS probably has recoil where it goes up. So what do? You just pull down on the trigger, or not the trigger, the right stick, as I'm shooting, and you just start bringing it down and see how I can control it. Now it's not perfect, but see how now once you learn the how much down you can look, that's without me holding it. So that's me recognizing this weapon. I know this weapon has recoil. I just have to pull down on it, not drastically all the way down, but as long as I pull down on it, it should stay pretty leveled, which is what you always want. And no ground loot weapons is not gonna be as good as your ground loot weapons. Not gonna be as good as your loadout weapons. So they're all gonna have recoil. So guess what? You're gonna have to pull even harder on them. So that's one thing we want to know about aiming. Two, this crosshair right here, this little cross in the center, you always want to have this ready to shoot towards your opponent. So like if someone might be at the window, I want to have this crosshair here, so by the time I aim, I'm already there. So you want to try your best at always having this. Now we're not gonna be staring at this, but this is pretty much your aim. This is pretty much what you want. Like if I'm running through this door, I'm already here. I'm not gonna come to the door like this and then go like this. See, it doesn't make sense. I'm looking at the door because if someone pops up, I'm ready to shoot. Same way here. Running through the door, ready to shoot. If someone might be in that corner, I'm gonna go here, I'm ready to shoot. I'm not gonna go in and then turn. I'm gonna be here and be ready turning. Slide cancel, turn, or you can just jump knowing he's there, and it's gonna be very hard for him to hit you. So another thing we want to talk about is aim down walking movement speed, which I like to use for almost all my weapons, especially because I'm more of a close range fighter. So pretty much what it means is how fast do you move left and right when you're aiming down sight. Now my OTS build, I have a high uh, aim down walking movement speed. So as you can see, I can move pretty fast, even though I'm aiming down sight as opposed to with the sniper. See how slow it goes? With this, it goes pretty fast, especially left and right. This helps so much in the middle of a fight because as you're shooting over here, moving. Now, mind you, you're gonna have to learn how to control this. You can't just move. Let's say the opponent is in that window, move this way, and now you're not tracking the opponent. You have to. If you move left, you push your right stick right. If you move right, then you push your right stick left. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much, let me give you a visual. So if I move this way, I'm pushing this way. So you kind of push them towards and if you move left, you're pushing right. So you pretty much push this way and then that way. Those are the two movements. Both inwards or both outwards. Why? If I'm going here, I'm moving in. If I'm going out, then I'm aiming out. You know what I'm saying? So together. They both gonna do the same function. In, out. So you want to be here, you want to be here, here. Now, if your gun don't really have much ADS speed, then you pretty much just doesn't really matter if you move. It's just pretty much steady because you're not. It doesn't have that speed of aim walking down movement speed. So you always want to set up your builds how you feel comfortable doing it and how you feel comfortable using it. So boom. And this is very good for me because I'm a very impatient person. So a lot of times I begin this running and I'm being super loud. Why? Because I'm not wasting these 5 seconds, 10 seconds doing this the entire time. Because I'm impatient and I can admit that. So I'd rather have a gun that I can aim and walk uh, at a faster speed than other guns because I'm moving pretty fast while still being semi-silent as opposed to being here that is like super loud. So boom. Always check the buildings like this. Messing up my video. What's wrong with him? That should be the last step. Talk about how I approach fights. So now that we broke down all the basics, I'm gonna just try to give you a couple in-game examples. Hopefully we can find some people. This is perfect. So you see how we have a UAV? One thing you want to keep in mind, you see how there's one arrow above that player? That means he's somewhere above, and then the other one just has has no arrow. That means he's on my level. So I already know there's one below, one above. Should be here. See as I'm moving left and right? It's gonna be very hard for him to hit me. Now I know his teammate was somewhere above. See? No arrows no more. He's somewhere here. I hear him. Move left. Not gonna hit me. See how easy it is with a gun that you can move side to side as well as shoot? It almost feels like you're speed walking as you're shooting, and it's just so advantageous. And those are the small details that people don't pay attention about, but they're so helpful. They're so helpful. So helpful. It's perfect. Number one thing you want to do is spot your enemy. Somewhere there, but I want to be around cover. Wait, what is lag? What the hell? I can hear him inside. Sound is so important. That's why you could just... See if I can give you another example. I'm aiming, walking. See the difference that make? If I'm ready to shoot... Now, like I said, I'm an impatient person. So normally, if I have another gun where I can't do the same, where I'm moving at a certain speed, I'll probably just be running. He catches me running. If you get caught in this position, you're pretty much a dead target. Unless you have movement. Because when your automatic tactic is running, then you could just slide cancel, maybe zigzag, left, right, and then hope they start missing bullets. And by the time you start hitting your shots, then you might win the fight. But definitely want to spot your enemies first. Always want to know where they're at. Always want to know where they could be at. You always want to identify if they're a good player, bad player. He kind of broke me down. Let's see if we find another example. Might have to go up to peak. So yeah, always want to find your players. Always want to know where they're at. And I don't mean like literally just sit here and just wait to see where they're at. Like you want to approach the fight. I'm looking for my covers. Do you see me? You saw me. Cracked him. I'm making a video, buddy. I'm looking for my covers. Where's my covers? Maybe here. Why? He's ready to shoot. I want cover. Now you always want to give him different angle. I went right, I went left. Now I can go up. See? Then I come back left. I just saw his other teammates like my revive. Look, cover from cover. Now we have a Deddy, which is perfect. And I give him a different angle. This is so important. Giving players different angles is so important. Especially if you have Daddy. They're not gonna expect me to be here unless they have Dead Silent. You see? I have no idea how he knew I was coming back there, but if he would have never had a second teammate, then I would have been an easy cleanup, even if he had self-revive. I wasn't fully plated up, so I wasn't really gonna win that fight. But I'm gonna try to give you an example. It's so hard for Caldera to like find covers everywhere because the map is so open. So like people that are in the building have such an advantage, especially if you're like trying to push them. Let's try this again. What's so laggy? What we want to do? We want to hear footsteps. Just know if you have better movement than a lot of players, this is gonna cause them to miss shots. That was a perfect example. I was already weak. What am I gonna do? If I run away, I have no cover. So you might as well hit him with a movement. He's gonna come this way, which is how you break someone's camera, and you just slide cancel past his camera. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna be looking here, and next thing you know, you're way past them. And it makes it so much difficult for them to hit shots, especially if they're not good players. Which in that situation, I already knew they weren't that good of players. So you always want to identify if the player you're facing is sweaty, quote unquote, or kind of average. If the player is just as good as you, then you want to work him with IQ. You want to have better position, better cover, a better advantage when it comes to what gun you're using. So you always want to identify the players, one, and you want to spot the player, and then you want to identify what kind of players they are. Are they sweaty? Are they okay? Are they decent? I knew those guys were just okay. But yeah, I shoot someone here. Gotta find players, man. So yeah, in this game, you always want to push people because it's just practice, man. It doesn't matter if you practice on private lobbies and then you get into a game and you start choking, you start panicking because you're not used to. Here, this guy, come down, cover. What the fuck? Oh well. Of course he shoots me. So you always want to push people in practice. Plunder is a great way to practice. The players are not the best per se, so you can always get good practice, and you always come in with your loadout weapons, which is a plus. Shots are not that easy to hit. Really? But yeah, you always want to push people. You always, but yeah, in this game, you always want to push people. You always want to be aggressive because that's just practice at the end of the day. If I'm pushing 15 gunfights a game, and you over here facing 2 or 3, then who's getting more practice? I'm getting 10 times more practice than you. And guess what? Practice make perfect. And although we're never gonna be perfect, you want to be near perfect. And the only way to do that is by, getting your practice on. Now, there's a lot of players that sit for most of the game. That they sit most of the game. What? Like this. Or like this. But it's like doing that, a lot of times you just become lackluster and you're not ready to shoot. You're not ready to fight. Meanwhile, I'm being aggressive. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. So guess what? That's what makes you a better player. Who wants it more? I think it's hectic. Bro, everyone's camping, bro. I'm gonna give you a breakdown how I approach a fight. Cover. He's broken. Now he panics. One thing you gotta keep in mind, people always get desperate. Because once they see you're broken, then they want to push you. And like I said, you're not gonna really win fights if you're over here caught in a sprinting position. It's just not gonna happen. I hear people under me. My man's camping. What? So the way I approach fights, I'm always being the aggressor. It's not gonna work all the time, but I'm putting in the practice. Bro, everyone, what the fuck is Splendor, bro? And everyone's just camping, bro. So how do we approach fights? We know there's two. Oh my god, there's three actually. See how there's a perfect example how I move left and right. I knew it! This ping is way too high. So yeah, guys, that pretty much gonna conclude the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm definitely gonna try to put out a part two to where I get into more advanced techniques. But these are all the things I can think of and improvise at the moment of what can help you guys improve your gameplay. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment on what should be my part two, what should be included in it. And hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. What up, YouTube gang? Kingflowh here. So in this video, we're gonna get into my settings. What do I do during games? What is my thought process? How do I maneuver? And a bunch of other tips that might help you guys improve your gameplay. Definitely check the video out. There will be time lapse on the description. If you want to jump to any part of the video, I'm gonna have the time with the description. You can go ahead and do that. Just go to whatever part might be helpful to you. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Please leave a like. Please subscribe if you're new here. Comment on what do you think I'm doing wrong, or what do you think I should be doing right, or what do you think, or comment down below on what did you guys learn from this video. Was one tip that you guys took that is helping you guys out and you guys gonna implement into your game. Peace. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get straight into it.